The men's hockey team travels to Minneapolis to face number 4 Minnesota this weekend. The Gophers are currently in first place in the Big Ten, 3 points ahead of the Badgers. Both Friday and Saturday's games will start at 7 p.m., with Friday night's game being televised by FS Wisconsin Plus. Then Saturday will be on FS Wisconsin. Head coach Tony Granato is here, and we'll take questions.
Do you see yourself continuing with the goalie rotation through the end of the regular season? I don't know if you looked at it that far yet.
Probably will this weekend. I think, again, both guys have been really, really good for us, and both guys deserve to stay in the rotation. So it's worked out well. I thought, again, both guys this weekend at different times of the games were big when they had to be. Obviously, we wouldn't want to give up that many goals week after week, but we found a way to battle through and get the 2 wins. So I thought both guys were good.
Why is Trent Frederick playing so well right now?
He's a good player. Trent Frederick, since the first day we got on the ice with him, we knew he had something special. Donnie was in the program with the U.S. program last year. He knew him a lot better than I did. He's an elite player. He's drafted first overall by Boston last year. His size, his poise, his consistency, his ability to see how the game's being played, all factor into why he's so successful. But he's only going to continue to get better. You always wonder, a guy that gets off to a good start as a freshman, if he's going to level off. And he just continues to find ways to improve. So been fun to watch. He's obviously been a huge part of our success, and good, really good kid. Fun kid to work with, fun kid to watch every day, come to the rink. From a coaching perspective, if we needed him to kill a penalty, or we need him to take a face-off, or we need him to score a goal, or whatever, he's ready for it. And a very mature young man.
Andy.
Sticking with the topic of Trent, what impresses you the most, his poise or his skill? Because the poise as an 18-year-old kid doing what he's doing, he's not just playing in a shift. He's in all your special teams, and you seem to rely on him in all the key situations.
We say it over and over when you talk about him. I'm not sure he knows how good and how easy he makes things look. I think he just plays the game, and he sees it well. He understands the game well. He understands what's being asked of him. For a young player, when you're asking things of players, especially when you put them in all those different situations, you're asking a lot of them. And he understands what needs to be done in all those situations. So I think he was very well coached through the development program. I think he's, one of those competitors that's always looking for ways to get better. And, just having a phenomenal season for a freshman. And he's a big part of, every different situation in the game. We turn to him to see, if he's fresh enough to get out there in a key situation, he's going to be over the boards.
With 2 straight road series, obviously in big situations here as you come down to the finish line, why have you been so good on the road this season? Have there been any factors that you can point to for, just separating with things out?
No, I don't have anything that jumps out. Obviously, our record on the road's been really good. I think we played maybe more patient on the road. Maybe we don't think we have to score every shift on the road. Maybe we. I don't know what the whole factor would be on why we have such a solid road record, but our team, this year has competed no matter what situation we've been put in. Obviously, this is another challenge, and we've talked about that a lot this year leading up to each weekend on different kinds of challenges we're going to face. Again, we're playing the best right now, and as far as going into Minnesota, knowing the kind of run that they're on, and our guys have looked forward to these challenges all year, and this will be another one. And I don't really know on the road. I mean, it's been impressive on how we've played in the road buildings, even some of the games we've lost on the road. The Denver game in particular, it was one of the best games of the season.
How do the players avoid putting too much pressure on this series? Because not only is it the border battle, but it is for first place in the conference.
Yeah, I think we've looked at each series, all year as its own. You're always going to get excited to play Minnesota, no matter what the records are, no matter where the games are being played. So that part of it will be fun in itself. I think the bottom line is we positioned ourselves at this point of the season, and we said it after the game the other night. These are meaningful games now, and it's nice to play meaningful games at this time of the year. And so from that standpoint, the Gophers are a heck of a team. I think we got a heck of a team here, so it should be some great hockey. There's some things, going into this series that I think we can do well against them, and we're going to have to be at our best to beat them. But we've played the level of hockey we've needed to at different parts of the season to be confident that we can play well up there.
Your defensemen continue to join the rush and be productive, and that's something I assume you'll continue to ask them to do while also being solid in the back end like they were late in the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I really was. I mean, the same thing happened both nights again, where it seems like we're going to win the game, and the other team makes a play, and they get themselves back in the game to tie it. And I loved the way we responded. I loved we didn't sit back, especially as a defensive group. Tischke and Linhart both jump in plays to score goals for us. And we're playing to win. That's what I like. We're not playing to keep it close or when the game gets tight to protect and defend and see how it goes. We're playing to win. And that's what I think that's the best quality and characteristic of our team this year that's impressed me the most and it started with the Ohio State thing. When the game's on the line now, we want to be on the ice to make the plays to win. And that happened both games this weekend. Michigan played I would bet Red would say that was one of their best weekends and how they played. They played hard. They played well. And it was an even game up until 50 minutes, probably both nights. And when the game was on the line, we went out and made the plays to win.
As a scorer, when you aren't scoring goals but you're getting chances, when you look back at when you were playing, did you ever do anything, change sticks, change habits? Guys are superstitious in that kind of thing. I mean, what do you do?
It's when you're going through a stretch, like I'm assuming you're talking about Grant, you can't dwell on what's just happened. You got to get ready to do your best. You can't let it affect other parts of your games, and that's what you worry about sometimes with goal scorers, and he is a goal scorer. And that's one thing that we'll talk about this week for him. If he plays well and doesn't score, he's still going to help our team. And sometimes goal scorers forget that. They think they have to score to help your team win. You don't have to score. You have to go out and do your things right, and eventually the goals will come back. He's a great goal scorer. He's a great offensive player. He could have had 3 or 4 goals last week, and he hit the post. He had the one that was disallowed that may have, should have counted. He had an empty net that he missed, and a couple other great chances. So the chances are there. Don't let it affect the rest of your game, and that'll be the message that him and I talk about for the rest of the week, getting ready for Minnesota.
Tony, when you took over and gathered this team, I think you talked about quite a bit the psychological element that the players on this team have had coming into the season. Do you think you've purged all the demons? Do you think that all the issues with these guys are gone,
Yeah,
or are you still fighting that?
I don't know if they were demons. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Confidence, we talk about confidence a lot early in the year. I think that's just stay the same way. That's the thing. When you go into those situations, whatever situation you're in, if you feel you've worked hard to get ready for it, if you have confidence in your teammates, if you have confidence in yourself that you've done everything you can to be ready for that situation, you'll have success. If you have doubt, or you're not sure you worked hard enough in practice, or you're not confident in your teammate, you're not sure what the coaches want you to do, that's when I think your team could fall, into a position where you freeze or you panic or you don't handle it well. I think our players have worked hard. I think our players have absorbed everything we've asked of them as players on what we're trying to do as a staff as far as implementing how we play. And from that standpoint, we should have confidence. We've played really well against elite teams this year. We've positioned ourselves where we have a chance to compete with Minnesota for a Big Ten title this weekend, or at least the lead in the Big Ten at this point. So we should be confident, and that's the way I want us to go into this series. We've done a lot of positive things that we should feel good about ourselves and our teammates.
After the way the series here against Minnesota played out, you have to feel like you match up with them well. You can, skate the same number of lines that they do, and you've got
It was
goaltending, they have
exciting
goaltending.
hockey. I mean, again, the Big Ten, I don't know that there's been a boring game or a bad game yet. So it's been exciting. All these teams have certain offensive players and styles, and it's just been great hockey. So I'm sure, going back and looking on that series against Minnesota, they had 2-0 leads in both games, I think. And they went back and forth. The scoring chances at both ends, especially teams. They got great specialty teams. They got high-end skilled players that can beat you one-on-one. So it's going to be entertaining, and I think keeping focus on the little details of the games that are going to be the difference makers on whether you win or lose are the priority this week heading into this series. And again, parts of the Michigan series weren't great, but we did enough of those little things to help us, find ways to win. And that's the same way we'll approach this weekend.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tony.